I can do that.
Yeah.
Did they call, did they give you a call?
All right, you ready?
Okay.
All right, the October 2022 ZBA meeting will come to order for the town of Manlius. In attendance tonight, we have members of the board, Warren, KP, Claire, and Carrie, and myself, I'm Tim Kelly. We've got Debbie Wessel, our secretary extraordinaire, and then Joe, our town attorney. And Tom, our codes officer, is also in attendance. All right. Everyone in attendance, please silence your phones. KP, that means you. All right, so next what we'll do is the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you could all please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so tonight we have a fairly easy agenda. We only have one item on it. Before we get to that, however, can I ask, did everybody have a chance to review the minutes from last month, and are there any questions or changes that you see need to be made? May I get a motion to approve the minutes as written?
Motion approved.
Warren, KP, you want a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Also, just because the two of you are kind of now to my right, just voice that you want to make the motion, so I don't skip people, or I can keep slowly in my head. All right. So the first thing that we need to do is do a motion to open the public hearing, or waive the reading of the notice for the, yes, that's correct.
I'll make that motion.
Sir,
Waive the reading.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right. So on behalf of the applicant, Daniel Vault at 4 Meadow Drive, Fayetteville, New York, tax map ID 094.03.10.0. This is a public hearing for one side yard variance to install a 3-bay garage of 1,185 square feet with an existing side yard setback of 7 feet 2 inches. They need a variance of 12 feet 10 inches, and we'll correct that accordingly based on the measurements you have. So they're looking for a variance as written of 12 feet 10 inches to meet the required 20-foot setback. So on behalf of the homeowner, we've got Jeremy Arts here, who is the contractor of record. So Jeremy, can you come up to the podium and one second, I'm just going to open the public hearing, but if you could just explain to us what you're looking to do. Can we get a motion to open the public hearing? Barry?
Second.
JP seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Awesome. All right. Thank you, sir.
This is the existing footprint right here of a existing 1-story home with a basement. My client would like to add a 3-bay garage to the right of his home. As you can see, it does impede onto the indicated setback of 20 feet, with the narrowest point being 7'2" and the widest point being about 12'9". And we're looking for a variance to impede that setback.
So if you guys noticed, they had staked out that corner as it was staked. Just, I think I told each of you this as I talked to you, but everyone that at least had a chance to talk to you. The stake was, would we say 12 inches?
It's 6 to 8 inches. We didn't want to mark the guy's driveway.
Yeah.
So 6 to 8 inches towards the house is where the corner of the garage would be.
So it's actually inwards from that, not,
From the state.
yeah.
And then my contractors came out there and they roughly laid it out. I think the angle's kind of tough because it's a kind of a trapezoidal shape. Laying out on the site plan, I actually come out 7'2", they were a little bit less, but they also didn't know if they had the right angle off the building. Because off the survey, I had certain point dimensions off the corners I had to adhere to.
Well, we were trying to figure out too, from like the growth of the trees and the way that that line goes, if it's actually close, the line itself is actually closer than they had drawn.
Yeah,
Because we think it's that tree line, based on what I can see, but I don't know, Tom, did you verify that?
Well, I was trying to get the picture up. What was that?
The property line, if
did
that was any closer than what was marked?
I did not.
Okay. So if you look in that picture, to the right is where that truck is. So Warren took this picture the other day.
Yeah, you
So-
can kind of see the stake right there, I believe. a little
Yeah.
bit.
And what I was saying is right along there is that tree line. And they've got it marked, but they are about 1.5 feet in from it. It's hard to tell from the map if it's closer to that tree line or if it's right where they have it marked. And we were talking about how that angle is, it's kind of fun because it goes inwards as it's
Yes,
coming in.
that's back.
Yeah, I could do it easier on a computer than they could do in the field.
So, so if you want to, do we have anybody in the audience that has any questions, Tom?
I'm gonna pull that up now.
And also just to clarify, I think some of you heard, I mentioned it, but I did call, we got a letter, or we got approval from the neighbor. That's the house directly opposite, like behind them. The neighbor's rear yard faces their side yard where they're looking to build this garage. I talked to the neighbor this afternoon and she was fine with it. She had-
So you're talking
Yeah,
about, as you
no,
look at the house, the White House that's to the right.
That's correct. Yeah, on the other side of that tree line.
There are no other participants.
Warren, KP, you guys have any questions?
I have a question. The garage that you're proposing would be, if you widen out on that picture a little bit,
You want the,
just, can you widen out a little bit? Yeah. So the plane, actually, right there. Plane where the garage is, the left wall of the garage, in other words, to the left of where the truck is, that plane would extend to the front of the garage that you want to build?
No,
No, that garage is gonna become part of the house.
I understand that, but I'm saying if you look at the wall of that garage, there's a plane. Would that plane extend to the front of the proposed garage?
There's a setback, I believe. It's set back, I think, about 8 feet. The front of the garage.
right here.
Yeah, I looked at this.
See, this point, they look like there is, you have that inset right there at the front door, this little flat section here. There's this little inset here.
I'm looking
So,
at
Is
this.
that a door there?
With this.
That one and that one.
Yeah, this will be,
It's a bound.
it's a covered entry, and they'll have a setback door.
That's what I think he's talking about. Right?
Well, there's a door there, then,
Yeah, it's, I misspoke before, it's probably set back about 4 or 5 feet, actually. It's not even with the front plane of that old garage, about 4 or 5 feet setback.
Yeah, that's a good shot of
Is
it.
there any thought about maybe a double door for one of them? Space?
I talked to my client about that, and he wants to maintain 3 doors. He doesn't like the look of the double door and the single door.
when we were talking, that would have made a difference of about 2 feet. So it's still either way, it'd be still a fairly substantial variance.
Ladies,
No questions.
no?
You talk to the neighbor, so you talk to the neighbor's cool with it. Good with it.
Yep, yeah, and then the other thing that Tom and I were certain of when we had our meeting, but Jeremy told me, is that if you go to the picture of that current house, Tom, so you see that roof line, so the it's got a pretty flush overhang off the side of it where the gutter is. It's gonna be the same on the other one. There's not a bigger.
Yeah, the design of the addition matches what's there.
Well, it's gonna slope down and then go straight across.
Yeah, it slopes the little, like, drawing real quick. Scroll, yeah, this area here where the door is, that is flat to kind of mimic what's going on between the two sloped areas. And then the garage is gonna have the same slope to the other two areas to kind of blend it all in together as one.
And then you'll notice like some other stuff on the drawings, just to clarify, they're, not that it matters for what we're doing here, but you'll see on this picture, they're actually cutting in windows in the front of the house on the two parts that aren't there. So that's what some of that drawing is that when we were reviewing it, just there were some questions, but they're updating the kind of basically the front end of the house too, which I think it'll look nice.
Yeah.
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 And it's all gonna color match and
Yeah, it's gonna be a black, all black with kind of a whitish stone is what we're looking at right now. And then light colored wood on the other side of the eaves. All the eaves will get and filled with a light colored wood and a new front door too that's gonna be updated.
Question, the trees on your customer side?
I don't think so. I think the property line is actually
right there.
right up to the trees. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe they're right up to the trees. And he was going to talk to her about any tree trimming that has to happen.
Yeah. Yeah,
That back corner of
The
where
back
the
corner
post
will be-
is, there, yeah.
you'll be into those trees.
Also, just to clarify, so I talked to Tom on Friday. He reached out to the fire chief, because my concern was actually more so that as you're getting close to that property line, that should they ever need to, God forbid, have apparatus get in there and get around it, and the fire chief said that he was good with it, so.
He had a term for extended lay that he was gonna do, and he rattled off a couple different ways that
Firefighter.
they would attack the fire if there was any issues over there.
But again, we just always want to make sure that the property is,
Accessible all the way around.
Yep.
Why didn't you put the garage, take the existing garage? Where's that point? Who's got the point?
Me,
Huh?
first time controlling it, so let me know what you want.
Take that, the existing garage, and just bring it out towards the street, rather than putting that addition on the side.
In discussion with my client, he didn't want me to get some windows, that's gonna become a family room.
Customers never know what the hell they want. It's up to the builder to bend them to your width.
I don't.
You don't do that?
I try to give my clients what they need,
Oh,
and I don't design for my portfolio, I design for my clients.
ah,
And just trying to get him what he needs, and he wanted more of an addition here to get the 3-car, and he didn't want to have to turn into his, take a left, 93 into his garage.
oh, he didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, he wanted to be able to drive straight into his garage.
Is he gonna have to modify the driveway in any way? Because if you're going back 4 feet, that left bay is gonna be tough, the existing driveway.
Actually, when we marked it, the garage doesn't go beyond what's already paved. Because the stake's right at the edge of the driveway, and 6 to 8 inches towards the house is actually the corner of the garage. So he'll be within the footprint of the existing, there might be some modifications,
Yeah,
but
I'm
they
thinking
won't
that
have
left bay.
You don't have to go to the left.
Yeah, left to the left a little bit, but not too much.
And what's the deal out the back? You putting a garage door on the back of the,
That's for lawnmower equipment, and it's just for easy access of getting in and out.
it looks like it's got its own separate little room in there.
Yep, it's a storage room for outdoor storage of whatever,
So it's
lawn
a shed.
equipment, shed,
An indoor shed, there you go.
indoor shed. That's what it was.
And all the neighbors got their notice?
Yep.
Nobody,
Nobody said anything. Well, we got the approval from the neighbor that's the closest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That house in the back, you can't even really see it.
Well, and we noticed when we were talking last week, the house that's across the street, actually, it's not that far off from its property line either, so.
true, but this house is unique in its style, setting. They're sitting on a lot. And once you put that addition on the side of, be lopsided to the lot.
A couple houses in that section that have recently,
They're all upgrading, yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you go around the corner, there's that massive
Yeah.
stone palace.
Across the street from these
And
guys.
across, they did it, yeah.
And there's a couple that have
Yeah.
similar designs to this house,
Yeah,
around there as well. I think they have the same builder, built by a few.
Must have been the
back in
same builder,
60s.
I don't know who that was, but,
Andrew Lloyd Wright.
and it looks the same line.
oh,
I said Andrew Lloyd Wright, no.
well, he did build some areas.
Did put something. I paid attention in architecture.
That's
class.
before everybody knew.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
How long do you think this is gonna take?
I checked with my contractor on it, but right now they're working out schedule and budget. And at this point, I don't know if we'll be breaking ground before winter, but I imagine Brian works pretty quickly, a couple months.
So you're the architect.
I'm the architect, not the contractor. I will check with the contractor on schedule, but
Who's the contractor on that?
Artesian Construction, Brian Bro.
Ortiz, yeah. Know that name someplace.
He works with, he's out of Jamesville, out of Steve Hadley's. I don't want to say that there, but they work hand in hand sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we had one earlier in the year that was our deal too.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of work in this area.
All right. Any other questions? Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
Okay. Gary, you seconded?
Yes.
Yes,
he
I
did.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. So now what we're gonna do is review the 5 questions that the applicant filled out when he filled out that packet.
Okay.
So you can have a seat and we'll go through those and go from there. All right. Question number 1. Whether the benefit to the applicant can be achieved by some other means. Is there another way to achieve what you would like to do?
Yes.
Yes, there are other ways.
Yes. Number 2, will the variance cause an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or the nearby properties?
No, I hope not.
No,
Hope not. Is the request substantial?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Whether the request will have adverse physical or environmental effects on the neighborhood or the surrounding area? Whether the need for the variance is self-created?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, you guys good to move forward?
Yes.
All right. So the ZBA, after taking into consideration the above 5 factors, finds that the benefit to the application or applicant does outweigh the detriment to the neighborhood or community. ZBA further finds that a variance for 12 feet 10 inches is the minimum variance that should be granted in order to preserve and protect the character of the neighborhood and the health, safety, and welfare of the community. There's agreement that there is no significant impact on the environment. Therefore, I propose a type 2 action on seeker and no further review is required. Based on that, can somebody make a motion to approve or deny the variance?
Chairman, I'll make a motion. The zoning board grant an area variance to Daniel Wald for the property located at 4 Meadowview Drive, Fayetteville, New York, 13066. This variance is being granted for the purpose of permitting the construction of the installation of a 3-bay bay garage beside entry addition with an existing 7-foot 2 inches side yard setback, and is requesting a variance of 12-foot 9 inches to meet the required 20-foot side yard setback.
So just to modify what you said a little bit, you said Meadowview, it's just Meadow Drive.
Oh, Meadow
And then
Drive.
It's
It is.
12 feet, 10 inches. not
Or
15,
12
not-
inches, so
This application says Manlius, but really it's Fayetteville.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
tried,
kind of in that,
on the other application, it says Fayetteville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the.
Depending
I know
on-
that's Fayetteville's.
I
It's,
kept seeing mailing addresses, Manlius and all this.
depending on which side of that yard you're standing in,
Yeah.
it's probably one or the other, honestly.
it's the other side of Wallwood, it's the village.
Yeah. Somebody like to second that motion?
I second the motion.
Claire? All right, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, so with that being said,
I will send a copy of the approval. Do you want it to go to Daniel? Do you want it to go to you?
You sent it to me.
Okay, and your information.
Yeah, I believe my email address is on there. So that means the, we pinch it at 7'2" at the back, or so it. Okay.
So yeah, I'll get that out to you and then you're, when you get ready, on the building permit. That's a
Yeah.
contractor.
Yep.
To answer your question, 7'2" or more, you don't encroach on it.
Yeah, we won't.
Because if you come back here and say, we want the 7 foot.
We're gonna actually have a surveyor go out there and lay out the exact property line.
he's the mean one on the board. All right, does anybody have any other items on the agenda? Any business?
When you, I just want to add, when they, because they're probably not going to break ground for a little while. If you could just write something up so I can push the permit out a little bit, unless they're not going to take the full year.
If I'll probably call Ryan on the way home
Okay.
and I'll check with him and see exactly when they're going to keep my square ground. I know they're still going over costs and all that stuff.
Yeah, because if it's not going to start until March, I don't want to issue it now and then take 6 months off the permit.
Oh, understood.
Yeah. how-
Because then they'd have to come back before us again to extend
This,
it. Yeah.
this rides with the land,
Yes.
Yes.
so it doesn't make any difference
Oh, permit, yeah.
on the permit, when you issue the permit, but you've got.
Well, the variance does. The variance is with the land, but the permit itself has.
The
True,
permit's only
but
for
the
a year.
variance rides with the property, so that's there whenever they get around to
Eternally.
getting the permit.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good evening.
All right. Nobody has anything else?
I'd like a raise.
Wouldn't we all?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Let's bring that- Anybody second that? All in favor?
All right. If nobody has anything else, could we please get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed?